Hello the cop, please subscribe my channel for follow Liverpool Football Club news on every days. Andre to Liverpool, Fabrizio Romano gives clear 4-word transfer update. The Brazilian midfielder may be available in January after being a top target for Liverpool in the summer. In light of interest from Fulham and Liverpool, transfer guru Fabrizio Romano provided an update on Andre's future. Liverpool was informed that they would have to wait until at least January as the Brazilian midfielder intended to play out the entire Brazil season, despite Liverpool's significant summertime interest in him. This transfer was justified because the 22-year-old played 120 minutes to assist Fluminense win the Copa Libertadores for the first time in the team's history. He is now free to leave in January. Speaking to Kick.com, Fabrizio Romano believes that Fulham is now leading Liverpool in the fight for Andre. There is an obsession with this Andre story, Romano remarked. Although Liverpool is not actively in talks with Fluminense, they are nevertheless fully aware of Andre's circumstances. A concrete discussion is not underway at the moment. That is the situation as it is. Liverpool is not negotiating right now, even though they wanted him in the summer. Andre is what Fulham wants. Liverpool is not actively negotiating with Fluminense, they are just in communication with those who are close to Andre. I am unable to foresee the future. But the transfer guru condensed the most recent information on the Reds' interest into just 4 words. Interested? Indeed. Talking things out. Not at all. Liverpool braced for a Alisson setback as criticism vindicates Jurgen Klopp anger. When discussing Alisson Becker's performance, Dean Saunders played to the gallery as he warmed up to the chore of breaking down Liverpool's 1-1 tie with Manchester City. The topic of conversation following the game was Alisson, who was thought to have performed a few notches below the high standard that Klopp generally demands of him. The Reds gave up a goal to Erling Haaland in the first half after the goalkeeper had cut off Nathan Ake's attempt at a swift counterattack. Some thought that Brazil international was fortunate to be given a free kick for a challenge by Manuel Akanji after Rodri's prodded finish to make it 2-0 was disallowed. Alisson's distribution and hesitation with the ball were also questioned during a game that featured 2 bad passes in stoppage time that ultimately resulted in him lying on his backside with what is currently believed to be a muscle injury on an afternoon that Liverpool's number 1 would rather forget. Saunders stated on TalkSport that, "You should have seen Alisson yesterday. He appeared to have been on a 10-day cruise rather than serving overseas. To be honest, he's a world-class goalie, but when Man City played out of the back, he set up 4 goals. Whose fault is it, though? Which is it, the goalie or the manager? Maybe secret option C is the real solution, and the reason it happened was more of a result of the players being asked to show up at 12:30 p.m., barely hours after they had traveled hundreds of miles to represent their countries." Saunders' effort at humor in his assessment of the Liverpool goalkeeper's performance was reminiscent of a bygone era, and it didn't further the discussion on the benefits of playing at 12:30 p.m. immediately following an international break. After the match at the Etihad, Argentina international Alexis Mac Allister remarked, "Honestly, it is so hard to play like this. I couldn't keep my eyes open during our discussion yesterday, Friday, as we discussed Man City and our preferred style of play. It's really difficult. Long flight, jet lag, but that's life. We enjoyed playing football and gave it our all since winning is what we wanted." Klopp has been a vociferous opponent of the time slot for many years, so his light-hearted declaration on Friday that he now approves of the schedule was made only to avoid more headlines that, in his opinion, don't accomplish much to alter the current situation. Saunders' sarcastic comment on a 10-day cruise perhaps caused a few people in the radio studio to snicker cheaply. But it's precisely this type of agricultural analysis that surely makes Klopp feel like he's hitting his head against the walls of the AXA training center. If Alisson performed below his typical high level during Saturday's draw, which he did, despite a brilliant save from Phil Foden and a crucial intervention from Haaland, the explanations are, at the very least, very evident for those who aren't trying to make jokes for the radio phone-in listeners. When the Premier League's top players are being physically restrained by the scheduling decisions made by broadcast networks, whose word is seemingly final in these affairs, how can the league expect its stars to perform at their best? It's also important to wonder if Anfield's higher-ups share Klopp's annoyance at the team's continuing use of the time slot following the international break, which was the Reds' third this season. Does the manager have a group of executives who support him in these kinds of decisions, or are they content to let the TV deal's profit margins have their way? Alisson made a quick detour to speak with Brazilian reporters before hobbling gingerly out of the Etihad and onto the Liverpool team bus on Saturday. Despite this, the goalkeeper was likely no less qualified to provide an update on his personal health than Klopp was during his post-match press conference. Am I allowed to mention that injuries might be because of the time slot? When asked about Alisson at the Etihad, Klopp responded, "I'm not sure. Though I believe it's really unique, I have no idea where it's coming from, and it happened to us today. After being at home, Ederson is well and in good health. However, it's fair because he played 2 games during the previous break in October. I'm hoping it's nothing major, but right now I'm not sure what it is." When I spoke with him, he claimed that he was just somewhat uncomfortable, but we still need to wait for the scan. Due to Saturday's problems, there is now concern that Liverpool may be without their best goalie for an extended length of time. Klopp is expected to provide an official update during his news conference on Wednesday from Anfield. Even though people outside of the Liverpool bubble are quick to label Klopp's protests as rants or moans, his words carry the most weight in this particular debate. Klopp may feel that his ongoing protests are becoming increasingly pointless and that more in the media should also highlight the fixture schedules and how conducive they are to muscle injuries. It's evident, however, that interpretations such as Saunders' 10-day cruise joke are wholly ineffective in advancing the need for greater openness in this discussion. Hello the Cop, please subscribe my channel for follow Liverpool Football Club news on everydays.